Sure, I felt like I'd been talking for too long as it was.
Hey everybody, today we have Dale here from WasteFree Systems. WasteFree Systems is who Ella&Jade uses to handle all of our recycling and rubbish within both Algester and Wollongabba. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me today.
Yeah, great, thanks for having us.
Oh, always, always. So for anyone who hasn't heard of WasteFree, can you tell us a little bit about WasteFree, what you guys do on a day-to-day?
So WasteFree Systems is a recycling program that we run predominantly within the hair salon industry. So we have a collection system where we have bins inside of the salon for separating all the different types of waste. And then we have collection bins out the back for our drivers to come past on a weekly or a fortnightly basis to pick up. All of that goes back to our central warehouse at the Sunshine Coast. And then we've got a team up there that does a lot of the sorting and the preparation for those materials to go to different processes to be recycled.
And Dale, you are new entry to WasteFree. What made you join?
So I actually bought the business about 6 months ago. So it's been a very fast 6 months.
Very fast. I feel like that's gone so quickly.
It has gone very quickly. So 6 months ago, I was looking for a business to become involved with, to take over. I've been running businesses for about 30 years and this is a bit of a change in gears for me. I was looking for a slightly different business to take over and get involved with, something that was already up and running. So not a background in the hair salon industry or in recycling, but still a fairly new area for a lot of salons to be thinking about. And so, I was really excited to take that on. So we've kicked off a whole range of new initiatives sort of since taking over, as well as just making sure that I knew how the business worked.
How it worked.
Because there's one thing for sure that, we need to make sure is that the rubbish keeps getting picked up, reliably. Everything else around that, is great, but as long as we're creating a really reliable service and that our customers, the salons, know what's happening, with the waste that we collect for them.
But when it comes to, I guess, hair salons, what was your biggest surprise?
I think, hair's probably the number one thing that most people kind of go,
honestly.
I didn't really know that there was
about it.
That's right. So things like paper and cardboard and plastic and metals, because people put that into their curbside collection, every week, those kinds of materials are pretty, I guess, well known for being recyclable. So the first thing that people sort of jump to was like, so well, what happens with the hair?
We have serviced so many beautiful clients. A lot of them have big chops, so we're removing quite a lot of hair, and for all of that just to go, I guess, and to be wasted, so we can actually do quite a big amount with it. Yes, in our industry, what would be the biggest environmental challenge? So obviously we use chemicals, we are also using plastics, and we also have metals. It's quite hard to get away from, I guess. But for hair, was there anything that you are sort of thinking is our biggest environmental worry?
Look, I think plastic is still probably our number one issue within a recycling context. Things like paper, cardboard, foil, those are very easily recyclable. All of the foil that we collect essentially gets melted down and made into new foil. And so that as a material is very simple to work with. I don't want to say simple. There are very, very well established processes. The world of plastics is so complicated because of the number of different types of plastics that there are. So, the types that are put into curbside collection different from the types that can be remade into new plastic again. And then there's just some plastics which just has very, very few kind of opportunities to be reused in any capacity. I think that's probably still our number one challenge. So I think there's some really, really good work happening. But certainly more to be done in that plastic space is a big challenge.
And speaking of that, you were to sort of describe our waste-free setup for Ella&Jade, and what would it look like for a new salon coming on board? Yeah,
so as mentioned before, there's two sides to the business. There's sort of the on-site at the salon and then back in the processing warehouse side of things. In the salon, it's really about the separation of the waste into its various different types. So that's really important for us in the back processing and sorting side of things to make sure that we're not having to sort of spend huge amounts of time pulling apart different types of waste. So the more that those are bagged up into paper, cardboard, we have hair, metals, plastics, and then chemicals is done separately as well. So for the salon, it's really about how to best implement that separation bin system. For some salons, there's a lot of constraint around around space.
Yes.
There's an aesthetic aspect to that as well. So that's one thing that I've there's not one size fits all.
Definitely.
In terms of sort of like the way that system can be implemented into a salon. One of the key things to help educate a salon, what's the best way that they can work with those materials? How can they not get too interrupted in their day-to-day as well, so that's always a convenience
paired with obviously being conscious and doing, trying to improve Mother Nature.
Absolutely, yeah. So it does require a level of effort.
It does, yes.
To commit to making those decisions around sustainability. It doesn't just kind of happen, right?
No,
so
it's a conscious
decision.
Choice. A conscious choice, right? Yeah, ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's the same with the team. It's like consciously making sure that we are placing waste correctly. We're also not over mixing. We're also not over ordering things.
All of that
on that front and back end as well, right? Because then also it's not like we're just blasting you with all of our waste, and then it's the level in which, because that also matters, right? The amount of waste we're producing for you as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's amounts, and the sorting and that also just makes sure that everything that you give us can be processed, can be worked with, that we don't have to discard anything on the other side. So yeah, from the salon perspective, it's really making sure that waste goes where it needs to, and then from there, we really want it to be that handover to us, and then we take care of everything on the processing and sorting. One of the things that we've implemented this year was the ability for us to be able to record and share the information in real time in terms of the weights and the materials of everything that we're collecting for you. And those are always being updated in an eco profile that every salon has.
Yep.
And so that's a really great way to be, sort of quite specific and also, data driven. We can prove that we're doing something. Here are the numbers to sort of show that it's not just that we're saying that we're being green, but here's the actual statistics to sort of back that up.
When it leaves the salon, it goes to the coast. What then happens?
So our van collects all the bags from outside. That goes back, and our team separates those into larger areas of the different material types. As I said before, things simply like paper and cardboard, they're mulched, they're turned back into the paper and cardboard essentially. The metals, particularly foil, converted back into new foil as well. So really interesting thing I've been telling people is for every kilogram of foil that doesn't need to be made from scratch, for every recycled kilo of foil, you're saving the same amount of energy that it takes to power a home for a day.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Wow, how amazing.
So last year we collected enough foil from an energy saving perspective, it would have powered a home for 80 years.
Wow.
Right. So it makes a huge amount of difference as it builds up. So, and salons go through a lot of foil.
Oh yeah, we do. I was just going to say, a few days of power would have been coming out of the salon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Chemicals are treated in an industrial process that gets converted back into water. That's for industrial use, not drinkable water, but that goes then back into being able to work within industry. The hair is one of the really sort of interesting areas. So,
tell me more about the hair.
Yeah, so we have two main areas of use. One, people may have seen these out here before, but essentially oil spill cleanup kits.
Yes.
So they're called hair booms. It's an industrial sock about 1 metre long, filled with about 1.5 kilos of hair. And that can absorb anywhere from 8 to 10 litres of oil out of water if there was a spill. So that can be used as a response to a spill. It can also be used preventatively within waterways to kind of keep essentially filtering water in waterways. The other one is in composting. So we're working with a lot of this local councils that support community gardens in their particular council areas, because it's a great slow release form of nitrogen. Creates a lot of great soil structure, helps with moisture retention, and there's about 20 other trace elements within hair, sulfur, oxygen, a whole range of them that are great from a soil standpoint. We collect a fair bit of hair, and so we're working with some outlets like community gardens in the various local government areas that can kind of take regular amounts of that. We've got some interesting things coming up later on this year where we are branching into collecting some other types of materials, one being used coffee grounds. You're looking to do that at a degree of scale. So mixing that with the hair that we collect from salons, as well as some of the granulated brown cardboard that we collect from packaging from salons, is going into a very unique compost blend.
That's
that we're
amazing.
looking to a locally developed compost from locally recycled materials.
What's the most sort of surprising thing that our hair could be turned into, or anything at all from the salon?
There's some amazing things that human hair is being turned into. Everything that was mentioned before about the composting, being able to produce mats as well as those oil booms. Mats can be used from an oil absorbent standpoint, but also too from I don't know if you've ever had pot plants at home where you have sort of like that coconut core material.
Oh, yes. Like the husk. Yeah.
So using that even in a home gardening standpoint. So being able to, there are people that are making sort of pot plant liners of human hair to sort of help establish those new plants. There's textiles that are being there are textiles being made as well. So both in the artistic sort of world as well as from in fashion, through to these are sustainable materials that can we're not at a point where that's kind of like mass producible, but think about the amount of hair that regularly comes grows and comes off. It is a very replenishable, renewable material.
Recently, WasteFree announced that there was a new segment of yours that involves charities and being able to donate to charity through WasteFree. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Metals, predominantly foils, but spray cans, drink cans, those metal resources that a salon produces, they're the main thing that from a recycling standpoint generates any further revenue down the stream. So we're diverting the proceeds from the metals that we recycle from our salons into a range of different charities that again can be tracked back through to the salons to say, our donations of X amount of foils and metals has resulted in this positive outcome and been channeled towards this particular charity. We wanted to provide our customers with some choice and with some agency, in making that decision.
Definitely.
Rather than just say, hey, look, this is the one that WasteFree is working with. We wanted to provide some choice and some different avenues as well. So the three charities that we've launched with this year has been Food Bank Queensland, Green Fleet, so they are replanting native forests and essentially a tree planting program. And then the other one is the Smith family, which is supporting children in poverty through education outcomes. I've personally been a sponsor of children through the Smith family for about 30 years.
Oh, amazing.
And so it really just felt like a natural extension for me to be able to say, well, what more can I do for that particular charity? But really came back for me to allow our customers, our salons, to feel like they're a part of the process. So that's been great. We've had a really great response from our customers in terms of, and there's a real split in terms of where they want that to go. You guys really wanted to work with Watergum, which is another fantastic local Queensland-based charity in the environmental space. So we're working with you to make those proceeds donatable through to Watergum. We do that on a quarterly basis, and then you're able to sort of track your progress with that. And you guys are a real catalyst for helping us to sort of like roll that out, across all of our customer base.
Because it's we're a community within our team, and then we're a community within our brand partners, and we're also a community within our clients. Like ultimately, they wouldn't pick us if it wasn't for a few like the initiatives that we do and the pillars that we stand behind as well. Yeah. Why is it so important for businesses to sort of connect sustainability with the real world? It can be a lot of, and I'm not calling anyone out here, but there can be a lot of, I guess, like greenwashing. There's a lot of talk, right?
It's a buzzy space, right? And it's something that very easily that you can sort of like latch onto and look like you're doing a lot, but actually not be doing too much behind the scenes. And I think there's a combination, of what particularly your clients are connecting with. A lot of the business world sort of understands this, is that idea of authenticity. That, if you are doing what you say you do, if you are living the values that you kind of like say, well, this is what our business stands for, and these are the things that are important to us. They need to see those values lived out in some practical kind of way to make the connection to say, I trust those guys, or I
Yes,
believe in
yeah.
those guys. And so there is some of that brand reputation and connection with your clients to build up that understanding that, hey, look, yeah, we really believe this, and then we're putting these ideas and these thoughts and these words into action.
I just think back to, I remember being at uni and speaking about industrial revolution, and it goes all the way back there, and it's so expensive to change, and ultimately we've been running with you for so long now. We pay for it because we want to recycle properly, but it's not so expensive where we're like, oh look, we might need to lose our sustainability pillar here,
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Providing those kinds of services with the provable outcomes of what happens afterwards, that we can deliver all of that essentially in a way that makes the cost of doing that acceptable to the business.
Yeah. WasteFree's given us that base platform to be able to, great, we've set ourselves up, we are sustainably sorting our waste, what more can we do now?
Yeah.
Because we've got the base platform of WasteFree to help us. Why is it so important for businesses to be taking sustainability seriously?
So, hair industry.
Everybody, hair industry, we're
This is for
addressing you.
Look, I think the hair industry has, just by nature of the work that you guys do, there is a lot of waste that's produced. Right? There are some businesses that don't have as big a environmental impact as what potentially salons do, and that's across all types of different resource types. And we've talked about hair, we've talked about chemicals. Those are two that fairly unique in terms of what you guys do. So the attitude of landfill kind of first and sustainability as an afterthought has an extraordinarily large impact in an industry like the hair and beauty industry, where those volumes of waste are measurably larger than a lot of other industry types. And so the impact that you can have by embedding sustainability into your salon businesses is materially larger than many other industry types out there if they were to make the similar types of changes. So I guess the challenge is that you have the opportunity of making an oversized impact on the environment and the community and the people around you. And so if we can make that available to you in a way that's easy to implement, that's a great situation to be in, where you can have high impact with little impact on your day-to-day business, and that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. How are our clients actually contributing, sort of coming to the salon, or is there anything that our clients can do at home, I guess, that could start alleviating their footprint?
Yeah, well, I think working with salons that do offer things like refills, and putting some thought into the product side of the service that they're providing for you is a really great thing to look for and a thing to encourage. But at home, a lot of services are already available to us through our local council. Just being diligent. I run a really great worm farm at home. If you want to get rid of organic materials,
oh yes,
you can have my worm farm consumes about 10 kilos of organic waste every fortnight.
Wow.
So that's material that's not going into landfill and creating sort of like the off-gassing and the releases that happen when organic matter goes to landfill. So
video number 2 incoming.
There you go.
Ella&Jade at the worm farm.
At the worm farm, that's right.
I love it, but it is right, and I think for our clients too, coming back in, like we are more on this soon, so I won't give away all of our sustainable secrets yet, but of course, if you're coming in, clients, and you've got your empty shampoo bottle, you don't really know what to do with it, recycling might not be set up at home for that, bring it in, bring it back to us, we'll give it to Dale, and Dale
we'll make sure
and his team will be able to sort it out. Dale, thank you so much for coming in today. I feel like we've been chatting away. It's been fantastic.
Thanks for having us, and look forward to the next instalment of the sustainability program that Ella&Jade are going to be rolling out this year. It's been great to see that evolve for you guys, so well done.
I know, thank you so much. Thanks, Dale, and see you at Worm Farm. Couple weeks time, hey?